Jayodaya, and thank you for joining us today. Again, we have with us an art of living expert and an officer of the Vedic Dhamma Sansthan. So today we are going to discuss about how the Japanese Language Academy, which has been inaugurated by His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji and the Honorable former President of India, Ramnath Kovind Ji, at the Art of Living International Center in Bengaluru, which is going to create jobs, employments, and placements for people who are going to learn about it. And similarly, how various language academies, be it in Indian languages, global 20 major languages, and the computer programming languages is going to generate employment. So let's talk about computer science and computer programming languages and how it can create employment and placements all over the world. So let's begin. So, what inspired the Art of Living to establish language and technology academies after the Japanese Language Academy inauguration? His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar Ji believes that the mind blossoms with knowledge and the heart with seva. The Japanese Academy showed how linguistic bridges create cultural and employment harmony. From that seed, we envision coding academies that blend jnana or knowledge with ananda or joyful learning. Just as learning Japanese opened doors to Japan, mastering digital languages opens access to the global economy. But unlike typical institutes, our academies include daily pranayama, meditation, and leadership sessions. When youth learn Python or Java with calmness and clarity, they not only get jobs but also live purposefully. The Vedic themselves supports us by grounding modern skills in dharmic ethics, truthfulness, non greed, and discipline. This technology becomes sadhana. Now, how do these programs align with India's skilling mission and dharmic education? Yeah, the skilling India is not merely about employment, it's about karma yoga, the right action done selflessly. At our centers, we train youth in 20 key programming languages, yet we begin each batch with the Guru Puja and a short Gita discourse. This anchors learning in humility. When a learner compiles a code, he also learns to compile his scattered thoughts. The same discipline used in debugging software applies to refining one's character. We coordinate with national skilling schemes and partner with Art of Living centers in Bengaluru, Pune, Delhi, and overseas. The outcome, youth are job ready, ethically rooted, and emotionally stable. Many employers tell us our graduates radiate calm confidence, a true sign of integrated learning. Now, let's start with Python and why is it central to your curriculum? Yes, Jagger, the Python represents simplicity and versatility, mirroring yogic clarity. It's used from data science to AI, just as pranayama harmonizes breadth across disciplines. We teach Python in partnership with DevOps School and local IT mentors in India, Europe, and North America. Students first practice Sudarshan Kriya to clear mental fog, then enter focused coding labs. Alongside syntax, we introduce ethical AI, how algorithms must serve humanity, not manipulate it. Graduates often find placements in analytics firms or research labs abroad, but we emphasize Seva projects. Some create AI tools for Sanskrit digitization or rural education. Thus, Python becomes both livelihood and Lok Kanyan, which is welfare of all. So, how do you approach Go or Golang training spiritually and technically? The Go was designed for concurrency, many processes moving in harmony. In the Upanishadic view, this resembles how prana flows through the nadis without collision. When one is centered, we introduce Go to youth seeking DevOps and cloud roles in the USA, Europe, and Singapore. Before hands on labs, we conduct the Agnihotra to invoke focus and light. Every Go routine lesson is paired with meditation on balance. Let tasks run, but let the mind remain still. Technically, learners master microservice architecture. Spiritually, they learn micro disciplines of awareness. Such alignment produces engineers who handle complex systems without stress. True modern yogis of the cloud. Now, Rust has a reputation for safety and precision. How does that relate to dharmic principles? Jaydev, indeed, Rust's ownership model enforces responsibility. No memory leaks, no data races in Dharma. Swadharma means personal responsibility. We tell students, write safe code as you live safe karma. Rust modules taught with global mentors via DevOps School connect to blockchain and Web3 hubs in Europe and the Americas. We integrate mantra chanting before deep code reviews. The resonance steadies attention. Students often say their debugging time halves when they meditate regularly. Rust programmers from our batches join fintech and cybersecurity startups, carrying with them the calm precision of a yogi. Thus, memory safety parallels mental purity. Now, Scala is known for functional programming and data engineering. What's the dharmic analogy here? The Scala unites object oriented and functional paradigms, duality resolved in unity. Similarly, Vedanta teaches Advaita non duality. Data pipelines become metaphors for life flows. The input, which is karma, transformation, which is sadhana, and output, which is wisdom. At our index.dev affiliated centers, learners build real time analytics projects after daily Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. Markets for Scala are vibrant in the USA and Europe, especially in AI and finance. But our focus is not just placement, it's purity in processing, no data manipulation for unethical gain. The combination of meditation and machine learning yields professionals trusted by global employers for integrity. So, how is Kotlin taught at your academies, especially for mobile development? Jacob Kotlins is interoperability mirrors coexistence old and new together. In our Asia and Europe academies, we link Kotlin to Android app design for social impact. Students first perform Guru Puja to honor lineage, then design apps promoting mental health awareness or environmental conservation. Art of Living's partnership with DevOps School ensures industry standards, while our yoga instructors conduct morning stretches to reduce screen fatigue. Placements span startups in Bangalore, Berlin, and Tokyo. We remind learners that each app should uplift users' consciousness. A dharmic app developer codes not only for profit but for peace. How does Java training connect with traditional Indian values? Now, the Java says write once, run anywhere reflects the universality of Dharma, truth valid in every environment. At our Times Pro supported centers, we teach enterprise frameworks alongside the Gita's principle of Nishkam Karma. Many students secure roles in back-end engineering across India, the US, and Europe. Each week, we host Satyanarayan Puja, seeking clarity and devotion in work. Technically, learners master Spring Boot and RESTful APIs. Spiritually, they learn resilience and teamwork. A balanced routine of meditation and coding helps them handle deadlines without burnout. Employers recognize this balance as a hallmark of our graduates. Now, Swift and Apple ecosystems dominate the iOS world. How do you prepare students for that? Jagadish Swift embodies elegance, minimal syntax, maximum expressiveness, much like Sanskrit. We teach Swift through Global DevOps School mentors and encourage students to develop mindful living apps. The Western market, especially the US and Europe, has high demand for iOS developers. Our placement partners assist accordingly. Each morning, students chant Gayatri Mantra before entering design labs to invoke intellect or pragya. We include sessions on ethical UX, ensuring technology uplifts, not addicts users. When creativity arises from stillness, innovation flows naturally. Swift graduates often become entrepreneurs, bridging Eastern wisdom and Western design thinking. Now, TypeScript is vital for web and full stack development. How is that integrated with art of living practices? There, the TypeScript adds type safety to JavaScript structure within freedom. Similarly, Dharma offers discipline within choice. Our readers, Gram linked academies in Europe and India conduct TypeScript boot camps, beginning with Sankalpa. A vow to code responsibly. Students build portals for NGOs, e governance, and spiritual education. They attend satsangs every day or twice a week where they share reflections on teamwork, ego, and creativity. Technically, they master Angular, React, and Node ecosystems. Spiritually, they learn mindful collaboration. Many find placements in web firms in London, Toronto, and Bengaluru. For us, TypeScript exemplifies how form and spirit unite in digital craftsmanship. Now, JavaScript dominates modern web development. How do your academies help learners master it while maintaining spiritual balance? Now, the JavaScript teaches us responsiveness, reacting dynamically to user actions, much like life responds to our inner state. At our TuteLive affiliated centers in Bengaluru, London, and Silicon Valley, we begin JavaScript sessions with 5 minutes of silence and gentle breath awareness. This helps learners center their minds before diving into asynchronous programming or DOM manipulation. Technically, they work on full stack projects with React, Node, and Express. Spiritually, they learn about the gunas, the sattva, the rajas, and tamas as mental states similar to event listeners responding to stimuli. Our philosophy is that code like karma must be written consciously. A distracted developer introduces bugs, a calm one creates clarity. Employers tell us Art of Living graduates show unusual patience when debugging. They breathe, observe, and act mindfully. Students also build websites for Art of Living Seva projects, eco initiatives, free schools, and youth leadership programs. JavaScript thus becomes a language of service, communication, and consciousness. When skill aligns with stillness, both web pages and inner pages render beautifully. Now, Ruby is admitted and admired for its beauty and developer happiness. How do you translate that ethos in your training? Yeah, the Ruby was created to make programming joyful, and joy or Ananda is the essence of Dharma. At our index.dev partnership centers in Pune and Berlin, we integrate Ruby on Rails boot camps with Sudarshan Kriya Yoga. Students meditate daily before writing code so that joy precedes productivity. We remind them that Ruby's principle, optimized for developer happiness, is perfectly aligned with the Vedic view that Sukha or happiness is the natural state of the self. We also introduce Sanskrit chanting sessions where students experience the rhythm and flow that Ruby's syntax embodies. The result is holistic learning, technical mastery, and inner ease. Ruby developers from our academies often join startups and social enterprises across North America and Europe, yet their motivation transcends salary. They seek to build digital tools that spread harmony. Our alumni project created a Ruby based app connecting volunteers with local seva opportunities worldwide. Thus, coding becomes Karma Yoga, joyful action in service of others. Now, databases store the world's information. How does the SQL training at your centers relate to inner organization and memory? Jagundev, SQL teaches structure, order, and retrieval. Just like meditation organizes the mind's data, a scattered consciousness is like an unindexed table. Retrieval is slow. Through meditation, we build mental indices that improve focus and recall. In partnership with DevOps School, our SQL courses span India, Europe, and Canada, focusing on PostgreSQL, SQL, MySQL, and cloud databases. Before each session, learners perform the Nadi Shuddhi or the Nadi Shodhan Pranayama. It clears their channels just as normalization clears redundancy. They then visualize queries as affirmations, select peace from mind where eco equal to zero. This humorous metaphor helps students internalize balance between logic and love. Placements come from banks, analytics firms, and enterprise software companies. Yet the core lesson remains managed not only databases but also your samskara base, the subconscious impressions that guide decisions. A good query fetches truth quickly, a meditative mind fetches wisdom effortlessly. SQL mastery thus parallels the Atma Vichara, the inner inquiry of self. Now, R for data science. Data science drives decision making worldwide. How do you ensure learners use it ethically and dharmically? Yeah, the R is the language of analysis, turning numbers into narratives. We tell our students that data without dharma leads to manipulation. A DevOps school collaboration brings global mentors from North America and Europe who teach R, Python integration, and AI ethics. Before analytics sessions, we conduct a Gayatri Homa invoking illumination of the intellect or buddhi. Students learn to visualize data sets as reflections of collective behavior, not just rows and columns. They apply mindfulness to statistical inference, asking, does this conclusion serve truth rather than does it serve profit? Projects include health prediction, education analytics, and environmental monitoring, all aligned with the Loka Sangraha or welfare of society. Meditation enhances pattern recognition, calmness increases insight accuracy. Employers often remark that our graduates are data scientists with conscience. R therefore becomes more than a language, it's rather a cosmic order expressed as code. The same law that governs galaxies governs algorithms when guided by compassion and clarity. Now, PHP has powered much of the web for decades. How do you keep it relevant and spiritually meaningful for students today? Yeah, the PHP, though old, symbolizes resilience and service qualities of a saver. Many dismiss PHP as legacy, but we teach it as a lesson in humility. Every system, like every soul, has purpose. Partnering with Foundit, we train students for web development rules in Asia and Europe. Classes begin with chanting Om Namah Shivaya, invoking renewal and transformation. Learners build CMS tools for NGOs, temples, and education portals. They explore Laravel frameworks and security best practices. Yet we insist their first project serve a social cause. A PHP site built in peace carries vibration of seva. Our alumni find jobs globally, but more importantly, they carry gratitude and endurance. PHP's persistence empowering millions of sites teaches the yogic principles of steadiness or sthira. Every refresh cycle mirrors rebirth, a care, new chance to improve. Thus, from temple websites in Varanasi to eco portals in Berlin, PHP connects Dharma with digital destiny. Now, for shell scripting and bash, shell scripting often operates unseen, quietly running the core processes of a system. How does this relate to yogic philosophy and your training? The shell scripting reminds us of a karma done silently, efficient background service without seeking applause. In operating systems, scripts automate mundane yet essential tasks. In life, a spiritual discipline automates right conduct. Our DevOps school based curriculum covers Linux environments, CI CD pipelines, and automation tools like Ansible. Students begin each class with Mon Sadhana observing silence for 10 minutes. The quiet mind mirrors the shell. Simple, text based, yet immensely powerful. Globally, shell experts are in high demand in North America and Europe for infrastructure and DevOps roles. Our graduates excel because they combine technical precision with humility. They document thoroughly, share knowledge, and maintain balance under production pressure. We encourage learners to think of every command as a mantra, short, potent, and transformative. CHMOD 777 becomes symbolic, granting permission to let inner light act freely. The spirit of Bash is simplicity. The spirit of Dharma is truth. A system administered with awareness stays stable, just as a life governed by mindfulness remains harmonious. Now, Objective C may be older than Swift but still powers legacy systems. What life lessons do you derive from teaching legacy languages? The Objective C represents honoring ancestry. In our centers across North America and Europe, we remind students that old frameworks are not obsolete, they are Pitama, the forefathers of today's innovations. Before every module, we conduct the Pitru Tarpana or ancestral gratitude ritual. Learners then understand respect for legacy code as respect for lineage. Technically, we train them to maintain and refactor iOS, Mac OS applications in enterprises still dependent on Objective C. Spiritually, they learn continuity, the bridge between past and present. Employers appreciate this mindset. Instead of complaining about outdated systems, our graduates bring reverence and creativity. They treat debugging as dialogue with ancestors, listening before altering. Objective C developers are rare now and thus well paid, yet we teach them to view remuneration as dakshina, an offering earned through sincerity. Legacy languages like traditional rituals remind us that progress without gratitude leads to arrogance. When we merge heritage with innovation, both code bases and cultures evolve gracefully. Now, for Haskell, Haskell is pure, mathematical, and abstract. How do you make such a language approachable and spiritually meaningful? Jayaguru, Haskell's purity of function mirrors the Vedic idea of Shuddha Chaitanya, pure consciousness. In Haskell, functions have no side effects. In yoga, awareness acts without attachment. That connection becomes our teaching philosophy. We introduce Haskell to DevOps schools, advanced programming track, focusing on functional thinking, type systems, and immutability. Sessions begin with the meditation sessions or the Sudarshan Kriya sessions. Students experience direct correlation. When mind is pure, code is clean. Globally, Haskell jobs cluster in research labs, finance, and blockchain firms in North America and Europe. Our graduates thrive in there because they approach complexity meditatively. One alumnus told us, Haskell taught me to reason logically, meditation taught me to reason lovingly. Haskell also becomes metaphor for inner architecture, immutable truth, underlying a mutable experience. We call it functional dharma, acting from pure intention, free from emotional side effects. Thus, abstract theory becomes living wisdom. Now, Perl and other legacy languages, Perl once ruled the web, but now survives in maintenance and automation rules. Why still teach it? Jagada, because Dharma values utility over popularity. In spiritual life, humble service often sustains the world quietly. Just like Perl scripts maintaining global infrastructure at index.dev linked academies, we teach Perl for system administration, network automation, and data transformation, still in demand in banks and research institutions. We open classes with Hanuman Chalisa chanting, invoking strength, loyalty, and perseverance. Hanuman never sought fame, yet no task was too small. That is Pearl's spirit. Students learn regex mastery, text parsing, and legacy system integration. They also meditate on patience, debugging legacy code mirrors, cleansing old karmas, persistent effort, and gradual light. Many find stable jobs where others hesitate to tread. Employers know that our graduates uplift team morale through equanimity. We remind them, even if the world calls it obsolete, true yogis see divinity in every function. Legacy code, like ancient scriptures, still holds wisdom if approached with respect. Now, Dart and Flutter represent modern cross platform creativity. How do your academies connect this innovation with the spirituality? Yeah, Gurudev, Flutter unites design and performance just as yoga unites body and mind. We teach Dart and Flutter development across Asia Pacific and Europe, helping youth to create mobile apps for well-being, education, and sustainability. Morning sessions begin with Surya Namaskar or Padma Sadhana to awaken creativity, followed by Sudarshan Kriya to clear mental blocks. Technically, students learn UI UX, API integration, and responsive design. Spiritually, they explore the sahajata or naturalness. When a developer works effortlessly, intuition guides architecture choices. Graduates often join startups in Singapore, Berlin, and San Francisco, or launch their own mindful tech ventures. One student built a Flutter app guiding users through daily meditation and breath work, now used in 40 countries. We encourage such fusion. Code as seva, design as devotion. Flutters as hot reload, future and feature reminds us of yoga's renewal, instant refresh without losing essence. For the dharmic technologists, every rigid becomes a mantra, every interface a portal to awareness. Thus, Dart and Flutter exemplify the union of innovation and inner illumination. Now, how do the academies ensure that spiritual practices like meditation and homas complement rather than distract from technical rigor? Jagadish, the two are not separate, they enhance each other. Gurudev often says, the mind is your first computer, upgraded before programming others. Meditation improves concentration, memory retention, and creativity, crucial for mastering complex programming languages. Each academy maintains a balanced schedule: 1 hour of morning sadhana, yoga, pranayama, meditation, Sudarshan Kriya, 6 hours of intensive coding, and evening satsangs. During Rudra Abhishek or Ganapati Homa, students learn symbolism, clearing inner obstructions before debugging outer code. In our pilot batch in Bengaluru, productivity rose by 37% after introducing daily breath work. Global partners from Tokyo to Toronto report lower dropout rates and higher emotional resilience among students following the AOL routine. The secret is integration. When spiritual energy is channelized, technical brilliance becomes effortless. Now, how are students placed in global regions like North America or Europe after completing training? Yeah, the placements are coordinated through both secular and spiritual networks. We collaborate with platforms like DevOps Schools, Index.dev, and corporate partners in the USA, Germany, and Japan. But unlike typical placement cells, we treat the process as yagya and offering. Before interviews, candidates perform the Deepa Puja, invoking light of clarity. Our alumni mentor new graduates, forming a global dharmic tech community. Many are placed in Fortune 500 firms, others join startups in AI, blockchain, or sustainability. The distinguishing trait is employers repeatedly note their serenity under pressure. We counsel students to treat employment not as competition but contribution, seva in a suit. This inner orientation transforms workplaces, making them spaces of harmony and purpose. Now, how do you adapt teaching for students different faiths or non-religious backgrounds? Jayagudev, we teach universality, not ritualism. Meditation, yoga, and dharmic values belong to humanity, not to one tradition. In our European or North American academies, we present Sanskrit chants as vibrational science, sound frequencies that calm the nervous system. Students of all beliefs participate joyfully because they experience benefits directly: better focus, reduced stress, and clearer thinking. Homas and pujas are optional. What is mandatory is mindfulness and ethical responsibility. When learners realize that dharma means right living and yoga means unity, barriers dissolve. We have had atheists who became regular meditators after noticing improved debugging accuracy. Thus, we train minds, not convert hearts. The light of awareness transcends all identities, guiding every programmer towards wholeness. Now, how do your centers collaborate with global universities or corporations? Jagadev, our partnerships are expanding rapidly. In Japan, we work with linguistic universities integrating Japanese plus Python modules. In Germany, a collaboration with technical institutes connect meditation based learning to software apprenticeships. Major IT firms such as IBM and Infosys have hosted mindful coding workshops designed by Art of Living faculty through Vedic Dhamma Sansthan. We add ancient wisdom modules, ethical AI, energy management, and leadership from the Gita. These modules are recognized as continuing education credits in some European institutions. Corporate participants report higher innovation and lower attrition. We plan to establish global Dharma tech hubs in Silicon Valley, London, and Singapore by 2027, uniting code, consciousness, and culture. When academia and spirituality meet, the result is excellence with empathy. Now, what role does Sanskrit play in your programming curriculum? Yeah, the Sanskrit, the mother of structured languages, aligns beautifully with modern programming logic. Its grammar, Panini says, Ashtadhyayi, is rule-based and recursive, just like a compilers. We introduce Sanskrit chanting and linguistic analysis as cognitive training. Students often report that understanding Paninian grammar improves their grasp of syntax in Python or Rust. Linguists from Japan and Germany collaborate to create Sanskrit based code, praising, and parsing research projects. Philosophically, Sanskrit connects learners to the vibrations of precision, Shabda Brahman sound as ultimate reality. Technically, we even explore Sanskrit inspired pseudocode for AI ethics frameworks. Thus, Sanskrit acts as a bridge from ancient algorithms of consciousness to modern algorithms of computation. Now, how do you support women and underprivileged youth in these academies? Negative inclusion is central to Dharma. We provide 50% scholarships for economically challenged youth and free yoga teacher training alongside technical courses for women. Special Shakti Tech cohorts run in Bengaluru, Varanasi, and Nairobi, combining leadership training with Kotlin, JavaScript, and data analytics. Before each new batch, we perform the Devi Homas and the Devi Pujas, invoking feminine intelligence. Mentorship circles led by women entrepreneurs nurture confidence. Graduates from such cohorts have launched startups in edtech and wellness sectors. Our approach empowers students not only to earn but to lead consciously. When Shakti or energy meets Bhakti or devotion, and Yukti or strategy empowerment becomes natural. Now, how do the pujas and homas directly affect the learning environment? Like the science meets its spirit here. Homas purifies space through sound and intention. When we perform the Vishnu Homa or the Ekadashi Homa or the Navgraha Homa at the start of a semester, the vibration of mantras alters the emotional climax. Anxiety drops, focus heightened. Studies by Art of Living's research wing with Nimhans show that participants in such ceremonies report 20 to 30% higher well-being scores. Students say the fire ritual symbolizes their inner fire of learning. For non-Indians learners, we explain it as a mindfulness ceremony, a systemic and symbolic reboot, whether one calls it energy or atmosphere. The outcome is tangible clarity, harmony, and enthusiasm. When sacredness enters education, excellence naturally follows. Now, how do your graduates blend spirituality into corporate life abroad? Through subtlety, they don't preach, they practice. Graduates working in New York or Berlin quietly start meditation groups at lunch, organize charity coding events, or introduce ethical design policies. They embody samatva or balance, handling deadlines without anxiety. One alumnus at a US fintech firm leads morning breath work for his team, improving productivity. Another in Tokyo teaches mindfulness for engineers. Many maintain connection with their mentors via weekly online satsangs or daily satsangs sometimes. Thus, our alumni network becomes a living ecosystem of karma yogis in suits and sneakers, spreading calm professionalism across continents. How do you measure success beyond job placements? Yeah, the true success is inner stability and societal contribution. Yes, 93% of graduates secure employment within 6 weeks and 6 months. But our deeper metrics track emotional intelligence, leadership service, and life satisfaction. We evaluate whether alumni volunteer, meditate regularly, and live ethically. Each year during Guru Purnima, alumni present Seva innovations, tech projects serving education, environment, or health. One team built an AI system predicting crop stress to help farmers. Another developed an app connecting blood donors during disasters. Success is when skill becomes service, intellect becomes intuition, and career becomes calling. Now, what is your long term vision for these Art of Living and Vedic Dhamma Sansthan academies? Together by 2030, we envision 108 global Dharma Tech academies teaching 20 programming languages, ethical AI, and universal spirituality. Each will serve as a temple of technology where prayer rooms and code labs coexist. Students will learn to write algorithms with the compassion and design systems serving humanity. Partnerships with universities, corporates, and governments are underway. Gurudev's message guides us: let knowledge be rooted in peace. We dream of a generation of technologists who meditate daily, respect all cultures, and innovate fearlessly. A world where coding is not mechanical but musical, purposeful, and sacred, where technology becomes a medium of dharma. Now, how have alumni experiences reflected the balance between technical growth and spiritual depth? Jagadev, our alumni stories are living proof that inner calm multiplies outer success. A graduate from our Bangalore Python track now leads a data science team in Canada. She attributes her promotion to the focus developed through Sudarshan Kriya. Another alumnus from the Go and Rust batch in Berlin founded a blockchain startup with a unique principle: profit with peace. They start board meetings with 2 minutes of silence across continents. Alumni write to us saying meditation helped them handle career transitions, cultural adaptation, and leadership challenges gracefully. Some have initiated voluntary satsangs at workplaces, bridging cultures through shared breathing sessions. Many pursue higher education abroad but remain connected through our online global Sangha. Their stories demonstrate Gurudev's vision. The best professionals are those who are peaceful inside and dynamic outside. When learning becomes sacred, as success becomes inevitable. Now, how do the academies address the challenge of digital addiction among youth? Jagadish, digital distraction is a global epidemic and we treat it as energy imbalance, not a moral failing. Our programs integrate daily pranayama, technology detox hours, and workshops on conscious digital consumption. Students learn to design technology, not be enslaved by it. We teach them to pause between coding sprints, take mindful breaths, and observe sensations, converting restlessness into creativity. During Mahamrityunjaya Homas, we symbolically burn attachments to screens, reaffirming mastery over mind. Post course surveys show a 40% reduction in social media overuse among participants. The result: clearer attention, deeper relationships, and stronger coding focus. We envision a generation that uses technology compassionately and consciously, creators, not consumers. Now, what role does ethical AI play in your curriculum? Jagadev, ethical AI is the dharma of the digital age. Just as ancient rishis framed principles for harmonious living, today's coders must ensure algorithms align with compassion. Our ethics in artificial intelligence module taught across India, Europe, and the US blends machine learning with moral philosophy. We discuss bias, privacy, and data karma. How unconscious intentions shape outputs. Before AI lab, students meditate on the Gita verse, Yogastha Kuru Karmani, act while centered. They analyze case studies where AI harms or heals society. Graduates later work in tech policy and research promoting fairness and automation. In one project, students built an AI platform translating Vedic chants into emotional healing soundscapes for hospitals. Thus, intelligence meets integrity. The future belongs to conscious coders who serve both humanity and innovation. Now, how do the academies integrate environmental consciousness into tech education? Jagadev, ecology is embedded in Dharma. The Prithvi Mata or the Mother Earth sustains all progress. Every batch plants saplings after completing a course, symbolizing grounded growth. We teach green computing, optimizing energy use, promoting digital minimalism, and understanding carbon footprints of data centers during one Mahotsava. Students perform the Bhumi Puja to express gratitude to Earth before launching cloud projects. Some alumni created carbon tracking apps using Kotlin and Python to monitor emissions. Others designed IoT solutions for water conservation. Environmental ethics are not electives here, they are woven into every language module. A balanced programmer respects both machine and nature, knowing that true innovation flourishes only when the planet thrives. Now, how are global cultural values harmonized in your multinational academies? There are campuses from Bengaluru to Berlin operate on the principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family, cultural nights, international food festivals, and multilingual satsangs celebrate unity in diversity. During Diwali, Japanese and German students light lamps. During Hanami in Japan, Indian students join cherry blossom meditation. The shared language is silence, the stillness after pranayama. This cultural synthesis makes learning inclusive and joyful. Students form lifelong friendships that lead to global collaborations. One joint project between Indian and French alumni created a Flutter app teaching world chants. When culture becomes celebration, education becomes elevation. Now, how are research and innovation encouraged beyond employment goals? Jagdev, we view research as tapasya, a discipline inquiry. Each academy houses an innovation mandapam, a co-creation space where students and mentors meditate before brainstorming. Projects span AI-driven Sanskrit translation, Rust-based secure blockchains, and social impact. Tech research proposals are blessed in a Saraswati Homa, invoking wisdom. Collaboration with universities in the UK and Japan brings interdisciplinary exposure. One research team developed a mindful coding wearable that reminds users to breathe every 45 minutes and now patented. By linking intuition with intellect, we cultivate inventors who innovate for upliftment, not ego. Jagdev.